Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Simply BI. My name is Harshit and today we are going to understand about the date and time DAX functions in Power BI. So today we are going to look into some of the DAX functions which are related to date and time, which are calendar, calendar auto, date, date difference, date value. Also we are going to see about the now DAX function and we are going to see about the time, time value and today DAX function in this video. Okay, so let us start. So these list of functions, let me just show you in the tabular form also. So here you can see that these are the Power BI DAX date and time functions. Okay, so let us start. So we are going to understand about the calendar function first. Okay, so when we talk about the calendar function, it has a very easy syntax. The syntax is calendar. You just put the start date and then you put the end date. Now when you put the date, okay, you have to remember there is a specific format in which the Power BI accepts the date. The format is YYY, that is you have to put the year first, then month, and then the date over here. Now what does this calendar function do? Calendar function, it returns a table, okay, with a single named date that contains a continuous set of dates. Okay, it will return a very only single column which will be named as date, and you will be having the set of dates over there. Okay, now to mark it as a date table, okay, what you need to do, you go to the table tools and then mark as date table for the format operation which you want to select. Now one thing to remember, if your start date is greater than the end date, it will throw you an error. Okay, for example, let's see that. So I have an table over here. Let's see the table first. Okay. So here you can see that I have this order table and I have this ship date table. Okay. Let me just highlight in some color so that it is more easy. Okay. Okay. So here I have some orders A, B, C, and D, and there are some ship dates over here. Okay. So now what I want is I want to create the calendar for my ship date. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use this. I'm going to create the dates in Power BI. Let's see how to do that. Okay. So we go to the Power BI. Okay. And you can see I have not loaded any data. What I'm going to do, I'm going to create a table. Okay, from here. Okay, I'm going to create a table for my calendar dates. So let's go to this model view table view tab over here. Now here you can see that I want to create a table. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to click on this new table over here. Okay, so now I'm going to name this table as, let's say we are learning the calendar function. So I'll name this table as calendar. Okay, equals to, now what I wanted was I wanted the dates, calendar dates between two specified date which I am going to put. So let's say I am going to use the calendar function. So I'll just select write calendar over here. Now I am going to use the date function. So first I will write date over here and then I'll write year. What my year is, let's say I want all the dates from year 2024. Okay. Month I want is January and day I want is from starting of January, that is 1st of January. Then I'll close the bracket. Again, the end date, I'll again use this date function over here. Okay. And then I'll again enter the year. So let's say I want till 2025. Okay. Then I'll enter the month. I want till 31st of December. So 12th month and the day is 31st. Okay. Now close this bracket. Okay. Again, once more bracket you have to close and then click on enter. So here, now you can see in the data tab, a calendar table has been created. And if you open this, you can see a date column has been created. Now you can see all of the date from starting from 1st of January 2024 till the last. If you scroll down, it will be 31st of December 2025. Now, what I want here is I want this to be a date column only or date format only. So I'll just click on this column. Here you can see a format option. So just drop down, click on this drop down, and in the date format, you can select the DDMMYY format. Okay. So now you can see that I have this date column with me, which contains all the dates from starting 1st of January 2024 to 31st of January 2025. Okay, if you want to sort this, you can sort descending. So you can see that the last date here is 31st December 2025. Okay, so I hope this calendar concept is clear to everyone. If you have any questions, if you have any doubt, please let me know in the comment section. Now, let us move ahead and understand about the concept of calendar auto function, okay, in DAX. So when we talk about this calendar auto function, okay, what does this mean basically? So here in the calendar function, you just need to enter the start date, you need to enter the end date, and then you will be getting the list of dates or list of dates between those two dates over here. Now, here in calendar auto function, you have to pass an argument, okay, like the fiscal year end month. Now, many of you might be having a question like, what is the fiscal year? So fiscal year, we can say it is like the financial year. In India, we generally have the starting fiscal year from the month of April, right? So here, what this do is this calendar auto function, it returns a table with one column of dates calculated from the model automatically. Let us understand about it, this thing in more detail. Now, this fiscal year end month, okay, you can enter any value for in this fiscal year end month argument like 1 to 12, okay. Now if you mention the number, it will start from that number to 12 by default. Now if omitted, what it will do, it will start from the minimum value to the maximum value in the calendar table for the current user. Let us understand this with the help of an example, okay. Now here you have this fiscal year, okay. Now 1st of June 2021 is my minimum date, and 1st of February 2023 is my maximum date. Now if I just use this calendar auto function, okay, if I simply use this and if I don't enter any fiscal year end value, so what it will do is it will bring me all of the dates from starting the minimum date, that is this much, 1st of June 2021. So what it will give me, it will give me all the details from 1st of January 2021 to for 31st of December 2021. Okay, great. Now for this year, okay, 1st of July 2022, if I use the calendar auto function, what it will give me, it will give me the dates from 1st of January, okay, 2022 to 31st of December 2022. Okay, same thing. I just I have had, yeah. Okay, same thing with this maximum date also. If I use the calendar auto function, it will give me the dates from 1st of January 2024, 2023. Sorry, here it should be 2023, not 2020. It will be 2022, not 2023. Okay, and it will give me the starting from 2023, 1st January to 31st of January 2023. Okay. So this is what your calendar auto function will do. Okay. And how it functions is, let's say that in a table, you have, let's say, 2 or 3 columns, which combines of the date column. Okay. Which is the date column. So it will first make that date column into one. It will combine all the column values into one column, and then it will figure out the minimum and the maximum date. Okay. Now, let's say that if I want to pass the parameter of fiscal year, okay, so it is very important to understand about the fiscal year concept, because this is one of the most commonly interview questions which you can face in the Power BI. Okay, like what is the difference between a calendar and a calendar auto function? Now, let's say if I enter a 3 over here, okay, what will happen? So here you can see that if I enter a calendar auto 3, what does it do? It will do one thing. First of all, what it will do is it will take the minimum date. Let's say first it is the minimum date over here, 1st of June 2021. So it will start calculating my dates from 1st of April, okay, 2021 till it will calculate to 31st of December, okay, 2021. Okay. Why it is calculating from 1st of April only? Because we have entered 3 over here and it starts calculating from the fiscal year, that is the April month. Okay. So 2021. Great. Now, if we see for the second one, this is 1st of July 2022. So very easy. It will just take it from 1st of January 2022 to 31st of January 2022. So just copy paste this over here. If I talk about this minimum, if I talk about this maximum value, okay, fiscal year value. So what it will do is it will start calculating my date from 01/02, okay, 2023. Sorry, it will start calculating from 01/01/2023 till 31st of March, okay, 2023. Okay, because we are calculating the fiscal year. Okay, so it will start for 3 months only till March. Okay, so this is the difference between calendar auto and calendar function. Okay, without while passing the parameter as fiscal year and without passing the parameter as fiscal year over here. Okay, great. Now let us understand this thing with the help of an example in Power BI. So let's go to Power BI and let's say I go to this report view over here and I'm going to import the table. Okay, so I'm going to use this book one and here I'm going to just import just a second, I have not saved the file. So first I'll go to Excel and save my file. Okay, so I'm just going to import this sheet 2 data which contains my minimum and maximum value dates. Okay, now I have saved this. Let's go to Power BI. Okay, let's load this sheet 2 over here and then load it to the Power BI. Great. So now I have this sheet 2 loaded over here and I have this order date over here. Okay, so if you can visualize this over here, so it would be this one. Now what we are going to do, we are going to create, okay, we are going to use the calendar auto function. So let's see how to do that. So we are going to just click on this new table over here. Okay, and we will name the table as calendar auto in this case, equals to, we will use the calendar auto function this time because we are going to use the DAX function. And now if I am going to just not select any of the fiscal year and month, this is completely optional. So first I'm going to just close this bracket and click on enter. So now if I just format this, okay, to the date format. So here you can see that it is showing me the value from 1st of January 2021, okay, which I showed you in the Excel sheet over here. This is 1st of January 2021 to, it will show me, let me just go to the last date, that is 31st of December 2023 over here, which is 31st of December 2023. Okay, this is what I have done using the calendar auto function without passing the argument for the fiscal year end month. Okay, now let us do one more thing. Let us pass the argument. Okay, so I'm going to pass it as 3 over here this time. So once I pass the argument as 3, okay, what it will happen is, let's see. Okay, Now let me just ascending order first. Okay. So in the calendar auto, when I have passed 3 over here, so you can see that the first date is 1st of April 2021 over here. So you can see this is 1st of April 2021. And if I just do the sorting, if I see the last date over here, so it is 31st of March 2023, which is 31st of March 2023. Okay. So this is what is the difference. This is the difference you can say between the calendar auto function and calendar function. Calendar auto function, it is completely optional if you want to pass the fiscal year and month value. If you are not passing it, then what it will do, it will just give you all the dates from the minimum date to the maximum date. Okay. And if you pass the fiscal year value, it will just calculate for the specific months. Okay, you are passing to. Okay. And also one thing to remember, that whenever you are using this fiscal year and whenever using this calendar auto function, what does it generally do? It combines the date from all of the calendar columns in your table, and then it calculates the minimum and the maximum values for your table. Okay, great. So now let us move ahead and understand about the now versus the today DAX function over here. Okay, so when we see about the now function over here, so now function has a very easy syntax. You can see here, I'll just zoom in a bit. Okay, great. So here you can see that the now DAX function has a syntax now. The explanation of this DAX function is it returns the current date and time. Okay, and now you can see there's an example. So let us understand how can we do this in Power BI. So in Power BI, if you want to use the now DAX function, okay, so just select the table over here. Okay, and we'll click on the new measure. Here we will name the measure as let's say we are creating a now we are learning now DAX function, so I'll use now DAX. Okay, equals to, I'll just enter now, select the function over here, and then click on enter. Okay, on the right hand side, a now DAX measure has been created. So let's visualize this over here with the help of a card. So I'm just going to add a card to visualize this. Okay, I have this card over here, and then I'll just drag and drop this now DAX function, now DAX measure which I have created. Okay, so here you can see that today is 19th of February 2024 and the time is 12:14 in the afternoon. Okay, great. Now let us understand about the today DAX function. So today DAX function, okay, you can see here, it has a similar syntax, very similar to now DAX function. Okay, what does it do? It returns the current date. Okay, now example, you can see today returns the current date. For instance, if today is February 19, 2024, today would return February 19, 2024. Let us understand this in Power BI. Okay, so now I'm just going to click on the new measure. Okay, and here I'm going to understand about the today DAX function. Okay, I'll name it as today DAX. Okay, and here I'll just mark it as today, and then I'll click on enter. So a measure has been created, and to visualize this measure, we are just going to use the card over here. Okay, I'll just drag and drop the measure I have created to this here. Okay, so today DAX. Great. So now you can see it returns you the date for today. Okay, great. So I hope this today versus now DAX functions is clear to everyone. Okay. So now let us move ahead and understand about the date DAX function. What does it do? What does this DAX function do? So when we talk about the date DAX function, it has a very easy syntax. That is, you enter the date function, and then in the parameters, you pass year, month, and day. Okay. So what does this date function do? It constructs a date value on the numbers you have provided for year, month, and day. For example, if you use this date function and then you provide 2024, 2, and 19, it will return you today's date, that is 19th of February 2024. Now let us understand this in Power BI. Okay. So now I'm going to go this on this date page over here, and then I'm just going to click on this new measure. Okay. Here I'm just going to enter date DAX as the name of the measure, equals to, I'm just going to enter as date function. Okay, I'll just write date, select this over here. Now it is asking me the year, so I'll just enter the year 2024. The month I'm going to enter is February, so I'll enter 2 over here, and the day is 19, so I'll just enter 19, and I'll close the small bracket. Click on enter. your date DAX function or date DAX measure has been created. Now to visualize this, you can use a card here to visualize this. Okay, just drag and drop this date DAX over here. Okay, so here you can see that it is giving me the today's date over here. Okay, with the values which I have inserted. Now we will come on to the date difference a little bit later, but we are just going to understand first the date value over here. Now, what does this date value DAX function do? Okay, this date value function over here, it converts a date in the form of text to a date in datetime format. That means that if we use this date value function over here, okay, then what does it do? Okay, you pass the parameter in the form of text, okay, date text, and then it will convert your is the text format into the date. Let's see this in Power BI. Okay, so here I'm just going to click on this new measure. Here I'm just going to use date value DAX. Okay, this is the name of the DAX, or this is the name of the measure we are creating. Here I'll use date value over here, and here we have to enter the date in the text format. Okay, so I'll just double quote this. Okay, I'll put it as 2024. Okay, then 02 and 20, and then let's say 90. Okay, today's date, and then I'll double quote this close, and then I'll close the small bracket. Okay, a measure has been created, date value DAX. Now let's just visualize this measure over here. Okay, I'm just going to use the card over here. Okay, and then I'll drag and drop this date value DAX. So here now you can see that the text value which we have inserted in the form of DAX, it is giving us a date. Okay, over here, date time format. Okay, it is giving us the date in the date time format. Great. Now let's move ahead and understand the topic of date difference DAX function. Okay, so I have already created this one over here. So I'll do one thing. I'll delete this column first for you guys, and then I'll create it from scratch. Okay. Yes. Great. So now, uh, great. Okay. So what we're going to do here, you can see here let's first understand about the date difference function. Okay. So what does this do? So when we talk about the date difference function over here, it has a very easy syntax. You enter the function name, date diff, then start date, then end date, and then you have to enter the units. Okay. Let's understand this syntax in a little bit more detail. Now, what does this date difference function do first? It calculates the difference between two dates in terms of a specified unit. Okay. So start date, it is very easy to enter. End date also, it is very easy to enter. Now, what about the unit? Okay. Now, unit can be either a day, it can be either a month, it can be either a year, quarter, time, minute, anything. Okay. So, for example, you can see here that date difference and then date function we used. Okay. This is the date. These are the start date, this is the end date, and here the unit I have passed is a day unit. Okay, so it returns me 49. It indicates that 49 days are between February 19, 2024 and January 1, 2024. Okay, let us understand about this thing in more detail in Power BI. Now here what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create few of the columns over here. Okay, so I'll just right click on the table in the data tab, and then I'll select this new column. Okay, first, I'm just going to name this column as day diff. Okay, because we are going to find the day difference over here. Okay, so I'll just enter this value. Now I'll write the DAX over here. So I'm creating a day diff. So I'll just select day. Okay, I'll select the date diff over here, and then date one. My first date is, let's say, order date. Okay, so I'll select this order date from this 2017 sales table. Then my end date is ship date. So I'll just select the ship date from the same table. And then it is asking me about the unit. Okay. So I will first make it as day over here. Then close this and enter. Okay. On the right hand side, you can see a date diff column has been created. So what we are going to do, we are just going to drag and drop this over here. Okay. So I'll just drag and drop this to add data. Now it is giving me the difference of the date, but it is giving me the sum. I don't want the sum. So I'll just go here, and here aggregation, I'll just select as don't summarize. So now you can see between these order date and ship date, you have the day difference over here. Okay, great. Now let's create one more column, okay, and let us see about the month difference. Okay, so month diff. This is the name of our column, and we are going to use the date diff function. So we'll just write date diff over here, and then again we have the start date as the order date. Then we have the end date as our ship date. Okay, and this time in the unit, I'm just going to enter our month. Okay, great. Now close this. A column has been created. Drag and drop this column to this table over here. And I again don't want to summarize it, so I'll just don't summarize. Okay, so you can see the difference in the month over here. Okay, you can see these both are from January only, so the value is 0. But here you see that this is the order date is from 20th of January 2017 and ship date is 1st of February 2017. So the month difference is of 1 month. Okay, great. Now let us understand. Let us see one more thing over here. Let's see the year difference as well. So again, I'm just going to right click and I'll select the new column over here and I'll name it as year diff, and year diff, I'll use the date diff function over here and I'll select the start date as my order date, end date will be again ship date. Okay. And here I'll just select the year over here as the unit and then I'll close this. Okay. So what you can see here, a column has been created year diff. So again, what we are going to do, we're just going to visualize this over here. Okay, in this table. So I'll just select this over here and I'll drag and drop this year diff. Great. Again, it will just do the summary of it, summarize it. I don't want the sum of it. So I'll just click on here and I'll just click on don't summarize. Okay, so you can see the year differences here. And if you further scroll down over here, okay, let's do one thing. Let's sort it as descending order. Okay. So here you can see that the year difference is 1 year, and value. Great. Now, same thing. Okay. Using the same formula, date diff, you can calculate hour, you can calculate minute as well. Okay. So that we are not going to cover each and everything in this detail in this video, because you can easily just edit the unit and then you can get whatever value you want. Okay. Great. Now, let us understand about the time versus the time value function. Okay. So when we talk about the time function over here, what does it mean? Okay. So time function, you can see it has a very easy syntax that you enter the time function name and then you enter the values, that is hour, minute, and second. Okay. So what does this time function do? Time function, okay, it provides you or it construct your time based on the provided hours, minutes, and second over here. Okay. So let us understand this, okay, with the help of an example in Power BI. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new measure, okay, and I'll name this measure as time measure. Okay, I want to create a time over here. So what I'm going to do, okay, measure spelling is wrong. Okay, time DAX. Okay, I'll just name it as time DAX. Okay, great. Now here I'm going to use the time function. Okay, so I'll just do the time over here. Now, what time I want? Let's say I want 22 hours. Okay, then I want 35 minutes and 31 seconds. Okay, I've just entered the integer values and then I have clicked on enter. Great. A time DAX measure has been created. So to visualize this, again, we will be using our card over here. Okay, so let's see how it is working. Just drag and drop this time DAX over here. Okay, so you can see here that it is giving us a time, okay, 22 hours, 35 minutes, and 31 seconds. Okay, this date, this value over here, okay, this the date which you are seeing over here, this is the default date up to where the Power BI can fetch the data for. Okay, great. Now, if we look at the time value function, what does time value function do? Okay, so when we talk about this time value function, okay, it takes the syntax as time value, enter the time value name, and then you have to enter the time in the text format. Okay, so what does it do? It converts a time in text format to a time in date time format. Let's see. So now again, I'm going to create a new measure over here, and this time I'm going to name as time value DAX. Okay. Now I'll use the time value function over here. This time I'll enter the time in text. So I'll just double quote it. And let's say I'm entering 23 hours, okay, 35 minutes and 31 seconds. And then I'll close the double quote and then I'll enter. Okay, so a measure has been created again, and to visualize this again, we will use the card. So let's see how to do that. Okay, you have this card over here, and I'll just what I'll drag and drop this time value DAX. Okay, so here you can see that it is showing me 23 hours, 35 minutes, and 31 seconds. I hope the concepts for today is clear to everyone. Okay, so this was the part 1 of the video, and in the upcoming part of this DAX series, we will be learning more on the date and time DAX functions over here. Okay, so that's it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe for more.